Good morning, everybody. It's Ann and Val. Can you hear me okay? Thumbs up. Okay, good. Got the thumbs up from Ann. That means we're good to go. All right. Just waiting on. This is so funny because I'm sure as couples, you probably have the same kind of scenario where the wife goes, I'm always waiting on you. And what's going on here? Oh, nothing. Right.
Good morning.
All right. Sunday, fun day. We're indoors. We have sunshine and rain put together today, so it's not ideal for us to be outside, but it is ideal for us to be with you. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to get started by coming towards the front of our mats. We're going to bring our feet all the way up to the sides of the mat. We're going to turn the toes in ever so slightly so they're aiming towards the midline of our body. Let's bring our hands onto our rib cage. Now, you know there's different elevations where our hands can be. I'd like you to try to find the bottom of the rib cage so you can get the baby finger side of your hand. And we're going to gently push into the rib cage. And then you can take a big breath as you inhale. We're going to pop out the chest. And then we're going to elongate the neck. And then we're going to hollow out the belly. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale this time, let's squeeze the elbows together. And as we start to create that contractive effort, let's draw the elbows back. And then as you exhale, let's bring the baby fingers, forearms together and serve out our welcome platter. Welcome to today's class. Now, as we push the arms long, take a big breath in, hold the height of the arms, and on the next breath, try to push the arms a little longer and elevate just a little higher. And then as you release the breath, the elbows all the way back, rotate the palms into face each other, make little fists, and point those little thumbs of yours up to the sky. Let's squeeze the elbows together in the back, draw the hips backwards like we're chopping at the hips, and fold halfway down. So all of the other joints remain relatively unaffected by the hip hinging we're doing. As you inhale, elongate the spine and pull the back of the head to the sky. And as you exhale, unhinge yourself, come back up to standing. So we're beginning to warm up the body. We're doing a little bit of hip mobility as we come back down, finding some length in some of the muscles that interact with our hips by doing this simple hip hinging exercise. Squeeze the elbows, lengthen the spine and neck, fold down, and see if we can increase the range of motion without going into spinal flexion. So flexion is when we let our back curve. So come down, back up, associate this with some breath, inhaling as you come down, exhaling as you rise. Nice. And then let's hold it down, let the fingers drop towards the floor, and then step back to your plank. All right, and we finally have some load-bearing exercises. We're loading up our chest muscles, but we want to also position the shoulders ideally. So let's try to sink into the arms. So we're going to keep the elbows and wrists unbent. Actually, the elbows straight, wrists are bent. And we're going to let the chest kind of sink in between the arms. Now, with this, we're going to slowly lower our knees down onto the mat. We're going to draw the hips backwards, all the way back. Try to find a nice release through the hips themselves. We're going into a lot of hip flexion, arms extending, pulling out those lats. Let's walk the fingers forward a little more. And then come back up onto all fours, stepping the hands underneath the shoulders. Let the head fall toward the earth. And take a little imaginary string, put it onto the center part of your spine, and pull it to the sky. And lift up, push with the arms, and let the shoulder capsules kind of drip to the front part of the body. Do a nice opening across the back, and then actively push that chest of yours through the arms towards the earth. Take your tailbone, flip it to the sky, and do the same with the back of your head. Now, crowd the chest, pop it out, push it towards the earth, hollow out your belly. pull that belly button up and into the spine. And then drift the hips backwards, walk the hands back out, opening up through those shoulders and those strong lat muscles of yours. Keep walking the fingers forward incrementally. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, step those hands back underneath the shoulders. Make sure your toes are tucked under. And let's float the knees and then pull the hips up to the sky and drift purposely the heels into your mat for that nice lengthening in those calf muscles. Let's float back to plank and walk a little bit. I'm going to need to because we're in a very narrow stance down dog. Let the chest drop into the earth. Come down onto your forearms and back up onto your hands. Alternate sides. Let's do this a few more times. You may notice that your hips are rocking side to side. Try to control the side to side movement. And then come back into your plank. Pull up and back to down dog. Step your feet forward. Expand these sides to the sides of your mat, sides of your feet, sides of the mat. Inhale, extend the spine. Keep the spine in extension, pull the back of the head towards the sky. Now, with your fingertips on the earth, let the chest sink in between your arms. Draw that booty backwards, keep the legs straight. The orientation of the feet is forward and back, but sides running parallel to the sides of the mat. You got that nice orientation. Let's take the ball of each big foot, or of each big toe, sorry. Bigfoot, that's a mythical creature, of course. And let's lift the baby toes up off the mat while we keep the ball of each big toe on the mat. So we have an inward rotation of the foot. Draw the hips back a little more, as much weight bearing into the heels. Straighten the legs as much as you can. Take a big inhale, straighten the spine. Keeping those fingertips on the earth, spine straight, neck long. And then fold it back down, let the feet rest. And as you unhinge, sweep your arms out to the side, come all the way back up to standing. Good morning. All right, let's bring hands over heart. Take the left foot, step it backwards. We're going to use wide stance on this particular thing. So take the right foot out to the side of the mat, and then step the left foot onto this side of the mat. We're up on the heels, up on the toes of the foot with the heel not aiming sideways in either direction and straight up today. Thanks. Now, with hands over heart, let's bring some straightness and some force into that right leg. The ball of that right big toe, I want you to push it into the mat. And if you make that effort, if the little toe comes off, that's fine. We want that nice internal activation, more realized than all the way across the leg. So we have that inner thigh muscle. We're going to now take that ball of the big toe, and we're going to try to spiral it, turn it in towards the midline of the body. And while we keep that muscle activation active, keep the legs straight, let's hinge in on that front leg. Just like we're chopping at the hip. So it's the only thing, that's the only joint that's affected. Try to spiral in that big toe towards the center line of the body, and then come back up, let the foot relax. Step the back foot forward, position it on the side of the mat, and take the right foot and step it back. Make sure we're all lined up, all nice and stable. Left toe, ball pushing to the mat, left leg straight, inhale, lengthen the upper body, fold in. Nice, try to get in a little deeper. Now, spiral towards the center line, the ball of that left big toe. Keep it active. Come back up. Back foot steps forward, hands push to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, fold, step it back to plank. Hover low, warm up. This is just about over. Go up and back to down dog. High on the tippy toes. Heels drive to the earth, float back to plank. And here we go, folks. Hover low, hover high, hold the high plank. Take the right knee, bring it into the right elbow. Lift the right knee up to the right armpit. Give me your best effort. Step that right foot back. Left foot, step it forward. Lift that knee and extend the leg back. Now hold here 1 second. When we lift the knee, it's okay to bring that spine into flexion. Let the head fall. The effort is in lifting the knee. So we're going to try it one more time each side. Right knee, lift it. Oh, left knee, forward, lift, and back, pull up and back to down dog. Nice. Tippy toes, heels, float back to plank, right knee up, right knee armpit, right leg steps back, left side, left knee up, left foot steps back, hover low, hover high, pull up and back to down dog. Oh my goodness, our upper body's getting quite a workout today. You know why? And let's come back to plank. Right knee, bring it to the elbow, lift it to the armpit, step that right leg back, left knee, bring it up to the armpit, step that leg back, hover low, hover high, pull up and back, down dog, step or jump both feet forward. Nice. Now, separate the feet, mat width apart. Take the big toes, or all of the toes in each foot, and aim them towards the midline of the mat. As you inhale, extend the spine. As you exhale, keep the spine in extension and let those hips drift backwards. Nice. Now walk your palms onto your shins. Push the palms into the shins. Keep that spine in extension. Lift the back of the head towards the sky. We're not unhinging. We're just kind of lengthening through the neck. Now, let's get a registration for the weight bearing in our foot. Let's let your whole body in this form drift forward. And I want you to feel the pad of the foot, maybe even the toes, become heavily pressurized. And then drift your hips backwards. Feel the release of that energy in the front part of the foot and how it delivers to the back, more in the heel. Now keep that heel weight bearing best we can. Now, with the weight back in the heels, bend both knees. Palms push the shin and extend the spine. Inhale, extend the neck. Exhale, try to lower the hips a little more. And then keep the hips down. Much like we chop to fold, we're going to use that chop point, the hips, to unfold. Bring your palms up onto your kneecaps. Try to bend the knees a little more and get down a little deeper. And hold on that spot. Now take your hands, reach them forward. Palms turn to face. Separate your fingers widely. Take your shoulders and pull them backwards. Now, while we have all this going on, we're going to add in a little bit of engagement of that six-pack muscle. I want you to squeeze down on it and then pull the belly button in towards the spine. So like thumb goes punch in the belly, you tense up, that kind of tension, and simultaneously pull towards the spine. Lift the arms higher. Inhale, stand tall. Good morning again. Exhale. Fold. The feet haven't changed, right? We're still aiming the toes into the midline of the body or the mat. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, pull back down. And then as you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, bend both knees. Step the palms to the shin. Push and extend the spine. Unhinge through the hips. Palms onto the kneecaps. Butt lowers. Hands extend forward. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, stand tall. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands over heart. step the left foot back, reposition the front foot. It's aiming straight forward. Check in with the heel of the back foot. Is it kind of angling off? Aim it to the sky. So important for these exercises. Now, front leg straight, ball of that big foot, push it into the mat, make an effort. While we're doing that now, we're going to try to take that right heel and try to turn it away. So we have ball pushing down, heel spiraling out. A lot of activation in and around the hip. You should feel those muscles kind of going, what the heck's going on here? We're going to keep that. Now, fold forward. Walk your hands onto your thighs. Keep the ball of the big toe rotating towards the center line of the mat and keep that heel pushing to the outside of the mat. Let's walk the hands down the leg. Oh, all the way down if you can get there. Find your spot. And then walk back up. Take the back foot, step it forward, switch sides. Same setup, opposite side. Front leg relatively straight, ball driving earth. Ball turning to the center, heel pushing away to the outside. Hands onto the thigh, spine long, walk it down. So this is an unusual kind of stretch. Very good one for us. Should feel like there's muscle loaded with work while we lengthen out some of these medial or inner thigh muscles and other thigh. As you walk back up the hands, right foot steps forward. Good morning again as we salute the sun, inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring the arms down beside the body. Palms are facing forward. Now, when we have palms facing forward, you have a lot of funky stuff going on with the shoulders. So I want you to take the palms, keep them facing forward, and pull the shoulders out from the body and allow them to kind of rotate backwards. Now, we have our baby fingers on our thighs, high up, right? We're gonna keep the palms facing forward and slide them up right over the hip sockets. You can kind of feel a little hollowing on the hips. Or in women, it might be a little more of a bulge because their hips are a little wider. But unless you'll know when you're there, right?
Don't go there.
Don't go there. Those narrow hips of yours, you're going to feel them one way or the other. Now, take your elbows, squeeze them together. Take a big breath, make your neck long. When we say make your neck long, that's just not grow the neck. It's like actually pull the back of the head towards the sky. Crowd the chest, squeeze the elbows. Keep all of that activation real as you have forward, pull. And come back up to standing. And lower down. Elbows squeezing together. This is a modification of an earlier exercise. Take a big inhale, fold. What's going on here? That's on air, must be short of that. And then come back to standing, extend the arms forward, palms facing sky. Bring the baby fingers and forearms together. Take the left foot, step it backwards. Now, position your feet, just have them wide enough where you feel stable. You're still up in the toes of that back foot. Nice. Now, serve the platter. Left heel, drive it to the earth. And then come up onto the tippy toes. Serve the platter. Pull the elbows towards the body as you come down. Arms, forearms together. Baby fingers together. Push up, extend, elevate. Arms come back. Onto the tippy toes, extend. Pull back. Heel drives earth.
Feel like a hunchback.
Push back out. Yes, I know. This is working these lat muscles. A lot of it's miserable to some. Some people are actually getting a lot of benefit. In fact, everyone can get benefit from this exercise. Push it out, elevate a little higher, bring hands over heart, switch feet. Nice. Open it up. Get it ready. Heel drives earth, elbows pull the body. Push to the tippy toes, serve the platter. Pull back and drop. Push up, Pardon me? Nice. Now, keep repeating this.
Hurts my shoulder.
Take a break if you need to. This is a long exercise, but a very important one. Come up, hold up, elevate a little higher, hands over heart. Step forward. Yeah, you can feel your obliques working.
Here,
Yes. Nice. Push your hands to the sky. Open the palms to face forward. As you inhale, reach those fingers high to the sky. As you exhale, sweep those arms down. Step it back to plank. Lower your body all the way down onto that. Nice. How smooth of a transition is that?
Good.
Now, if you're laying your head down, like someone who shall remain nameless, is I want you to take your nose and let it lightly touch the mouth. So you're face down with the nose, barely, so you can just feel the edge of it touching the mouth. Now, we have our hands under shoulders. And we're going to take our elbows to the sky, and we're going to squeeze the elbows together. Nice. Now, what we're going to add to is we're going to take the legs and step them together. So we have thighs touching, maybe your ankles, maybe your toes. And I want you to squeeze the thighs. And everyone knows what an inch is, right? So just take the toes an inch off the mat. Squeeze the elbows a little more. Take your belly button now and lift it up into the spine. Now let's step our hands back so the palms are on the floor, down by our hips. So we kind of did this while we were standing.
Fingers pointing.
So the fingers are pointing towards your feet. That's right. And take the elbows and once again, squeeze them into the midline of the body. Squeeze your thighs. Grow your spine as you inhale. We're not elevating the chest. We're just making the spine longer and the head. Nose just barely touching the mouth. Let's walk the hands with the fingers still pointing backwards, a little closer to the shoulders, and then walk them a little closer to the shoulders, and then squeeze those elbows and those thighs. And then on the next breath, release. Bring the hands back on your shoulders. Push up onto your knees. Lift the hips back. Let's stretch this out a little bit. Let's widen out the legs so you have a nice mat width knee stance. The feet are connected and the arms are reaching forward. Now we're going to walk with a straight arm. I'm going to walk the hands back so that the hips are being pushed more towards the heel. A lot of flexion in the knee. Let's inhale, come up onto all fours. Step your feet, knees into place. So they're directly underneath the hips. Those hip sockets and knee sockets are kind of lined up top to bottom. And take your fingers and spread them nice and widely. And the little V that the finger and thumb form, we're going to take that V and aim it in towards the midline of the body. So we kind of look like a frog of sorts, right? You know how frogs stand. Nice. So the elbows, we're going to bend through them and hold that little bend. And now we're going to take our chest, we're going to push it through the arms, the elbows slightly bent. Nice. Now, push the arms back straight without compromising the position of the chest. So if you push your upper body through the arms, you kind of did this a little too much effort. You want just enough effort to straighten the arms along. Take the back of the head, lift it to the sky. Take your tailbone, flip it to the sky. Keep all of that active as you pull your belly button into the spine. And while you work to keep that belly button pulling into the spine, we're going to do a modified push-up. So we're going to bend the elbows, keep the spine long, keep the neck long, come down, touch the nose, slowly push back up. Arms come straight. Now, if you push through where those shoulders of yours went right through the front of the body, sink into those arms, bend the elbows, and keep the neck and back long. We're not bending or flexing it. Touch, slowly push back up, and do that one more time. And when you come back up onto all fours, Lift your hands, aim straight forward, walk them out, pull your hips upward and backward to down dog. Oh. Step both feet forward. Walk the feet to the sides of the mat. Turn the toes into the midline of the body. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Rip the hips backwards. Nice. Inhale, extend again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, unfold. Sweep the arms to the sky. There's your beautiful faces once more. Bring hands over hearts. Now, keeping the feet with that inward rotation. Make sure the knees are nice and straight. Chopping at the hips, we're going to draw them back. So you'll notice nothing's changed in the upper body and nothing's changed in the lower body. That's the hinge point, the hips. That's our chop point. So we're going to keep that nice and long as we bring the arms out in front. We're going to separate the fingers nice and wide, and then we're going to rotate the thumbs towards the center and then all the way down. And then we're going to take those shoulders of ours and we're going to pull them back. And we're going to hold on that backward activation, those muscles in the back. Thumbs spiraling. You're actively working them towards the ground and through. So you can keep that effort to make the turn active. Hold the baby fingers to the sky. Inhale, hold the spot. Exhale, hold the spot. Inhale, go higher this time. Hold the spot. Exhale, holding. Inhale a little higher. And on the exhale, bring hands over hearts, stand tall. Take the left foot, step it forward, step the right foot back. We're in a lunge position. Now, modifying this, we're not going to be straight-legged in the front. We take that left knee and we're going to let it glide forward. So it pushes over the toes. We're going to try to keep that back leg nice and long and try not to be vertical. That's going to compress that lower back. Like the spine straight, if you can get it, and keep the neck long with hands over heart. We're going to push the knee forward a little more. You start to feel a little opening over that right hip. Now to add on to that, we're going to take the right heel, drive it to the earth. And we're going to take the left knee and push it forward a little more. You're going to lean in a little more. Nice. And then take that right heel, drive it down a little deeper to the earth, a little closer. And take the left knee and push it forward just a little more. And then extend both hands forward. As you inhale, raise both arms. And as you exhale, bring hands over heart. Back foot steps forward. You're welcome. This isn't tough. Take the opposite foot, step it back. Nice. Big inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, let the right knee slide forward. Take the left heel, drive it towards the earth. Keeping that spine long, hinge into the hips, lean it in. Sheryl Sandberg, right? Now, right knee pushes forward, left heel drives to earth. Right heel pushes forward, left heel drives to the earth. Right knee, get a little more forward. Keep that left heel driving to the earth. Extend the arms. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, hands, heart, back foot forward. Great job. Push to the sky with the hands. Fold all the way down and have a seat. And then lie it down on your backside.
Okay,
Okay.
that's where I'm going.
Say goodnight to Kirsten. Now, I'm going to grab a little water, a little dry. Wow, good stuff. My wife is so kind. She goes, that's because you talk nonstop. So thoughtful. Let me join you all on the mat. Making sure I have the mic. Now we're going to take our right leg, I'm going to extend it out and bring the calf onto the earth. Boy, it sounds like I ran 5 miles today. Puppy. We have a bend in that left knee, and we're going to keep the bend in the left knee. But we're going to take our belly button and try to pull it into the spine. And you're gonna make your chest proud and try to find a nice situation of the shoulder blades where they're not pushing into the mat on one surface. It's kind of a more of a broad thing, where you have more tissue as opposed to the ridge of your shoulder blade just pushing. So kind of like figure it out, move it around. Once you've got it, keep it. Take the right leg, point the toes, and then take the right leg and lift it.
Oh, wow.
Just lift it slowly.
Oh, all the way up?
Yeah, just when I say lift, that doesn't mean lift it to a point, I mean lift it. Lift it, lift it, lift it. Bring it all the way through as far as you can go. Toe pointing up, and then slowly return it back to its starting position. Nice. And let's do it one more time. So it's really a slow, gradual, if you will, lift with the toes pointing. And we're bringing it all the way through the range of motion that we have in our body. And then we're going to turn it back to the earth. And on the next lift, we're going to assist this by grabbing on behind the leg and then using the arms to help pull the leg a little more through, a little closer to the chest if you can. And then while you work actively to hold the leg in place, let's push against the hands and then pull back in with the hands as you kind of push away with the leg. And then release. And bring that right foot to the floor, extend the left foot down and along the earth, point the left toes, lift that left leg slowly. It's funny that, you notice how some sides of our body function differently than the other as we slowly return that left leg back towards its starting point. Think about control and get a gauge for how it feels. So there's certain ranges you're moving through that feel better connected. The muscle has less vibration in it. And simply that because the load on the muscle changes as we move it through the hip. So at some points it's really working hard, and other points it's pretty easy. Let's bring it up one more time before we grab it with the hands. Try to pull it in towards the body. Pull that leg. Now push the leg away, use the arms to resist that, and then keep the leg pushing away and pull it back in towards the body. This is such a great stretch in those hamstrings and the gluteals. Let's relax that leg back down. Left foot's right beside the left foot, both by the hips. We're going to walk those feet out to the sides of your mats. Let's take your belly button and pull it into the spine. Let's make the chest nice and proud. And while we work to stabilize the spine, so a lot of times when people bridge up, what they do is they try to tuck under the tailbone, which is okay. It's not a bad thing to do. But sometimes what they do is the exact opposite, is they roll the tailbone back and the lower back starts to arch. So we're going to try to avoid doing that. If anything, we want the tailbone kind of tucking under. Hold that, because that's really a contraction of your six-pack muscle. And what we're going to do now is unhinge the hips. This is going to activate your gluteals as we push towards the sky. We're going to keep our core integrity by maintaining that nice activation of the six-pack muscle. Now, how high we go isn't as important as how we activate muscle. So without creating extra effort, we're going to try this one more time. I'm going to let the hips descend. We're going to try to keep the tailbone tucking under as they lower down the hips, as we lower them down. We're going to make sure the ball of each big toe is on the mat. I'm going to start to ascend. We're going to start to rise back up. We're going to keep that core integrity. We're going to keep that activation of the hinge and the hips and the gluteals. That's the muscle we're working right now as we lower back down and we raise back up And we take work off those gluteals by flexing and extending through the spine. That's why we're working to kind of stabilize those joints. So the focus of the energy is in the gluteals. Let's lower down. And if you feel a little bit of burning, do you feel it?
Oh, I feel it easy.
You're not even doing it.
I am doing it.
Oh, there you go. And lower back down. Nice and slow. And then back up. And if you're not feeling it, talk to me after class. Okay.
Okay.
Hold it up. Take the left leg, extend it out.
Now I'm feeling it.
And then switch it for the opposite leg. And then lower that, switch the leg, hold the left leg out, and then slowly lower the hips. So we're doing this on one leg, basically. And if your tailbone decided to flip out, tuck it under, lift it back up. Lower back down. One more rep on this leg. We're going to switch sides, pushing back up, holding this time though, and then lower that left foot back to the mat. Lower the hips back down, extend the right leg back out, keeping the right leg extended, tuck the tailbone, elevate on that left side, lower back down, elevate back up, slowly enjoy it, lower back down. It's like an expensive bottle of wine. You don't chug it, you gotta enjoy every sip. Lower back down. Bring that right foot back to the floor. Pull both knees into the chest simultaneously. Bring the forehead up to meet the knees and rock and roll up to a seated position, extending the legs straight up. Nice. Back to a position of power. We have the legs separated so that we're just with our heels on the outside of the mat. And then we have our spine nice and long. We have our neck pulling to the sky. We have all that good stuff going on. And then we're going to take our fingers, we're going to walk it inside the hands, and we're going to walk forward. And just like we chop at the hips when we stand, same thing here. Now, this time, we're not going to worry about spinal extension. We're going to bring spinal flexion in. So I want you to let the upper back kind of round in. It's got a C curve. Beautiful. Now extend to a flat back. Walk the hands back. And then hollow out the belly. One vertebrae at a time. Roll it down to the ground. And then take your feet, step them back in. Oops. With the feet about 3, 4, maybe 5 inches away from your hips. Let's take the right leg and wrap it over the left. Immediately, I start to feel a nice release over the side of my hips because we were doing lateral lunges yesterday. So we're going to do this slightly different today, this stretch. We're going to take the left knee and we're going to rotate it away from the center line of the body. So it's going to pull a little more on the right side. You're going to notice your right hip pulls up slightly from the earth. The left foot is just like a hinge. So the side of the left foot is just being rolled over on like a door hinge, basically. And then as you inhale, use the right leg to pull the left leg, and we're going to pull it all the way over. So we're kind of double-siding the stretch that we typically do. We're going to bring that left knee to float above our mat. And then we're going to use that left leg. We're going to start to create a little bit of force. So external, which means we want to try to push the leg towards the sky. But we're going to use the right leg to resist the push. So it's a little bit of tug of war, if you will. We're going to keep that tug of war active as you bring the left hand, aim it to the sky. And then we're going to reach that left arm back diagonally. I have that flower pot in the way, but nonetheless, I'm going to do my best version of that. I'm going to find length of the arm, pull across the hip because we have the tug of war going on. We haven't forgot about that, right? And then we're gonna come back up onto our backside. We're gonna switch sides. Reposition the arms, we're gonna cross the legs. We're gonna use that right leg to pull the left leg towards the right side of the body. On the left and right going on here. And we should feel that nice pull over that left hip. Up and into the low back of the left side. On your next breath, let's resist, but still allow our body to move. So the right leg's providing enough resistance where we feel good activation without a problem making the movement happen. So keep pulling with the left and keep pushing with the right. Float both knees. Extend the right hand up to the sky. Extend the right arm diagonally backwards. Oh, I can't tell you how good that feels.
That's all the push-ups we did.
Oh, yeah, push-ups, your pecs. Feeling lengthened. Feeling those shoulder muscles lengthening out. Feeling those hips, most importantly, those muscles that interact with the hips give you a nice opportunity to find length. And then come back up. Reseat both feet, pull the knees up and into the chest. Bring the forehead up to meet the knees, and let's rock and roll front to back. Back up to a leg extended, seated position. Spread those legs out nice and wide. Drop those fingers in between the legs and then walk it out. And let the spine go into flexion. Find that nice length. All right, now if you can, try to grab your feet, or the, that's right, feet. Try to grab the bottom of your feet with the hands. So we have a nice wrapping, and then we're gonna try to pull with the spine backwards. And we're gonna use the arms to pull through this stretch just ever so slightly more. The effort of force has to be balanced with the realization of what it's doing for us, right? So if we're causing pain by activating more pull, not necessarily a good thing or a better thing. You just want to find a little more range, with a little effort or assistance from the arms. Now as you inhale, extend to a flat back, let the fingertips drip back down, walk back up to a seated position. We're now in staff pose. Take your shoulders, lift them to the sky. Nice. Now take your hands, make them into fists, take your elbows, touch the side bodies with them, and then pull the elbows backwards. Nice. Now, squeeze your elbows together, make the chest nice and proud. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, bring the hands all the way up to the sky. Bring your hands back over hearts. And then roll back down one vertebrae at a time. Let's step the feet back towards the body. I'm just moving my shoulders out of the way. Excuse me. Clearing my throat, obviously. Let's take the hands above your head and extend them backwards. Let's take the back of the hand, sorry, the palm of the hands and aim it towards the sky. And then use the fingers to pull all of those arms nice and low. So we're going to keep this length in the upper body as we extend both legs down. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom part of the body. I'm going to point the toes and try to pull with them, try to find length, like step the heels forward a little more. See how much length you can create from point to point, from fingertips to toe tips. See how much length you can create. And then on your next breath, as you release it, bring the knees up and into the chest, grab them. Bring the forehead up to meet the knees, and then rock and roll front to back and come up to a seated position. Legs extended, wider than mat width. Inhale, roll the spine. Exhale, fold, but keep the spine nice and long this time. So we're not going into flexion yet. We have nice length through the neck and back. We have a nice pull going on right through the back part of that leg. This changes the dynamic of the stretch. And now, we're going to incorporate a little bit of lower back release by letting the spine go into flexion. Probably feels a little more enjoyable than extended spine. So enjoy it. And then walk the hands back into the body. And then cross the legs. Make your upper body nice and tall. Let's bring your hands over heart. And let me thank you for your amazing participation today. That was a challenging class at first. We did a lot of stretching, important stretching at the end. Thank you for joining us. Namaste. Oh.
Oh, we lost Val.